Oh my god.
Hello, welcome back. The weather is finally good, so it's time to do the scary thing and cut some holes. I'm just going to run you through everything we have. For the back windows, we have the tinted glass from Camper Glass. For the sliding door, we have the Nomadic Arc cassette window, which also includes the fly screen and blind. For the window above the bed, we have the Adventurer sliding glass window. And for the roof, we have the MaxxAir skylight and the MaxxFan Deluxe. We do also have the MaxxFan dome for the shower, but we're not going to be putting that in today. We're going to wait until the shower frame is built so we can make sure it's in the centre.
I'm going to make a start on the back windows first because I've done that type before, so it should be the simplest. I'm going to do one and she's going to do the other one. We'll make sure you know which way around they are so that if one falls out, there's a clear person to blame. I've got a new tool to do these back ones, which I've not used before, but I'm hoping it's easier than a jigsaw. So these rear ones, whenever you're doing the glass ones on the rear doors or the front doors, are quite simple. All you have to do is follow this edge basically. If you follow that edge, that's your cutout, and then you've got some like rubber, what do they call it? Trim, I suppose, rubber trim, U-trim to put around it. I'll show you when I do it. And then basically just glue the window to the outside, so they're pretty straightforward. You've not really got a lot of measuring or anything like that to do. Obviously always double check that before you cut anything out anyway, but
Nice.
Should be pretty simple. See if this new tool works. This is what I have. It's called a nibbler. So instead of a jigsaw, I used to do jigsaw last time and it took quite a while and it flicks hot metal bits out everywhere, so I'm hoping this doesn't do that and it cuts through a bit easier. But as I said, I've not used it before for anything other than a practice run, so hopefully it makes a nice neat cut and we don't have to buy a new door. So that's definitely not the perfect tool for the job, but it was quick, and considering it's the first time I used it, it's done all right. Can't wait to see you have a go. Just going to clean the edges up with this.
I ain't got my arms hurt. Shit now.
Well, what I was trying to do is this bit in the middle. Yeah. This bit I was trying to use as a guide to rest along there.
Yeah.
But then the panel moves a bit as well and it comes up, so it's a bit difficult. But I can just grind it down, so you just need to get as close to the edge as possible. What you don't want to do is jump onto here and start tuning into that.
Like you did.
Yeah.
We have cut the holes out, we have sanded down the jagged edges, we've also put some silicone in between the two panels of the door because they've come away slightly. We've also put some paint on the bare metal. Next we're putting on the seal for the window. They always give you too much, so you put it on and cut it down to size.
So it's time to fit the glass, but before we do that, we've got to clean the edge of the glass and clean around the edge of the window with the glass wipe. Then we need to use the primer and one of these little cotton ball jobbies and put a line of primer around the edge of the window on the glass and around at the edge on the door. So this primer helps the sealant, make sure the sealant sticks to it. If you don't use this, it won't stick to the bodywork enough and it will probably come out. This glass is hot. Oh man, that was. You don't have to do a thick line all the way around it, you can just do one line if you know exactly where the sealant's going to go, but I can't be bothered to measure it. There's probably some easy way to figure it out, but I don't know what that is and I can't be bothered to look it up. So that's what.
Trust me,
Not even slightly.
because I don't.
So we try and get it in first time. Just line it with the side, line it with the top. Tilt it in at the top. That's it, rest it along the top bit. And the other corner, upwards. Yeah, and then on. And just push it up, down a tiny bit. Yeah. That's it, and just push it on there. And now I'll take. Oh wait, push it on.
I can't push anymore.
You're like that. An easy way to get the sealant to come out easily is to warm it up in some hot water or leave it out in the sun if it's like today. You won't struggle so much on getting it out. Also have a good gun, not the cheapest one you can buy because they're awful. Right, so the rear windows are done, and now I'm going to move on to the skylight so I can get it done today. With the MaxxAir fan, I'm going to put that at the back because it's catching the solar panel at the front, because like an idiot I didn't actually take into account the bit that comes over the actual frame. So the frame fits, I've left enough room for that, which means I've left enough room for a skylight, but I haven't left enough room for a fan. So the fan's going to go at the back, the skylight's going to go at the front, not a massive problem. All I'm going to do is put it centrally, draw around the inside, give it a clean up so I can stick my filler bits in the ridges, just like I did for the solar panel. Cut the middle out, stick them down, and then I need to create a frame underneath, which I'll show you, for the screws to go through this into the wooden frame. Alright, so that's cut out. I've primered the edge where the bare metal was so that doesn't rust, and now I'm going to stick these in the gaps ready, so I can have a smooth surface all the way around to glue it and screw down to, and then I'm going to go down and make a wooden frame for the inside for the screws to actually bite into. Okay, covered that in CT1, and now I've got to try and put it on. Alright, so I've made this frame out of 2x1. I've just got to now screw it together, and then I can screw it through and clamp these two together and glue the surround of the fan on. Oh my god. So I've just had a whole rant at you and it wasn't even recording. The box is for the Max fan. I didn't check it. We started drilling it. We've got a hole in the roof. Now I've noticed that there's no screws for the side. Went to check, see if they were in the box, and also noticed there's no remote or any other screws. I don't know if you get the screws that go through into the roof, but they're not in there either. So I've had to email where we got it from, which was Magnum Motorhomes, which is one of the reasons that I didn't check it, because we ordered loads of parts at the same time, and it didn't look like it had been opened. I should have checked it when I got it out, but there you go. So we've got no remote, no screws for the side, and no screws for the roof. So I will carry on and secure the frame, and then put this in the hole so that we've not just got a big hole in the van, and maybe find a screw or something to try and, I don't know, so it doesn't blow out, I suppose. But what a nightmare. Right, she's in. I found some screws. We're not going to have rain in there. That's in. That's the surround is on, but we're going to see if the surround fits for the skylight, because that's got a blind on it and this one doesn't. If not, we're going to we'll have to buy another one for it. So we've got a blind on it as well. So I found the remote and the screws in the instructions. They had obviously fell out of the box when I was removing the fan, and then they fell behind another box. I did email Magnum Motorhomes, obviously in a panic, thinking I've got no screws, I've got a big hole in my van. And obviously this was on sort of Friday late afternoon. Their closed for obviously the weekend and bank holiday, etc. But they have tried to call me and they've emailed me today as well to basically say where the remote is usually located. Big shout out to them for getting in contact so quickly and making sure that I've got everything I need and I'm not stuck with a hole in my roof. So panic over. The end of the day, day one done. Rear windows in, max fan in ish. Tomorrow we can start on the side window and the window on the door and see how far we get with those. Good morning. It's a new day.
It's a new dawn. It's a new day.
It's now Saturday and the windows haven't fallen out and the roof fan hasn't blown off. So
We are going to tidy up first and then do the side window.
frame and the window. You've broke the toilet seat.
It fell off and I don't understand how you put it back on. What is that? I touched that earlier.
That's the door.
No, it's wet. There.
Right, side window. So to fit this, we need to measure this section, as this is going to be the size of the cutout, and obviously this is going to be where it seals. So it's going on the side, and we need to make sure that that outer frame doesn't go above there, but also that section on the outside is around here, so we need the wooden frame to clear this as well. The hole's going to start around here. We need to get this centre support out and cut down. It's spot welded there, so they need drilling out, and then this will just peel off, and then we can make some kind of template, mark it out on this side so I know where the gap is for the frame, and then I can, I don't know, drill corners maybe, and then mark it out on the outside of the vehicle. Okay, so I've cut these templates out. I'm going to use this one to find out whereabouts on the inside I need to cut, and then once I've figured that out, I'll use this one on the outside to draw a template on the outside, and I'll cut it from the outside. Before I place this though, I'm going to build the frame so I know how much space on the outside of this template I need for the gap, and then I'll cut that out and then start marking it out. This has just come as well, so we shall have a look at that. Postman's just brought it. It is storage pockets from these that I bought on eBay. The rear doors. They're only 70 quid, I think, for the pair, so 70 or 75. Anyway, let's start making the frame. Ignore the mess. you've not figured it out yet, I'm making this one work. So this is the frame for the inside, and that sits on there like that, and then just screws, self-tapper screws into the frame of the window. But obviously the van walls aren't that thick, so we need something in between to fill it and hopefully stick to the wall. So I have this 2x1, that should be perfect. What I need to do is cut out 4 sections of this. I don't actually have to screw into this wood, although I could do around this outside, and I may do. So all I'm going to do, I don't have to make a frame and stick it together because I'm going to stick it to the van. I'm just going to cut a section for there, a section for there, and a shorter section for the sides. Obviously this is an oval, so I'm not going to be able to make a perfect frame anyway. So just 4 pieces of wood basically. Now I've cut these out, I can begin to work out what's the lowest that I need it, so I can have it on that lip. I think I'll just get this wood all the way up to the top of that lip, and then start my cut under here, so about there. Next step then, let's get this cross member out of the way. Right, to get this off, what we need to do is drill out those spot welds first. So we need to find a suitable drill bit for that, and it's going to be a fairly big one. Yeah, this might not be big enough, but I can't bother to go get my others. So let's give it a go. Top tip for anyone that doesn't know, if you suffer with your drill bits always coming loose, when you tighten your drill bit up, if you just go back 1 click, that will lock it into place. Right, I'm not going to attempt to drill this and film, so I'll set up the GoPro. All this dust just fell out of there, and I was hammering it. One is trying to get Hoover in there somehow. So they're loose now. Now all I need to do is cut this. Well, first of all, work out how far down I need to go, and then I'll cut this and probably trim some of the insulation as well if needed. So they're drilled out of there, but it's still glued to the back. So you just need to get, this is not a right kind of knife really, but some kind of knife down the back, just to break that seal. Yeah, now it's come away. I might just do is wedge a little bit of wood behind it to pull it away from the rear panel. when I'm grinding it off. So that's marked out on there, and I've put 2 drill bits through the holes so I can rest my template on it, which is there, and I've just taped it down to hold it in place. I've also made sure that the distance between there and there is the same on both sides, so it's level. So that's where the window's going to go. Now it's time to draw on the inside of the template and then cut it out.
The hole's done. We've filed down the sharp edges. We've added rust-proof paint to the bare metal. We've got some battens over there, and that's obviously what the window is going to be attached to and clamped to, and then we can put it in.
Right, I'm going to try and quickly get the skylight in as well. Same process as the fan, basically, so I won't bore you with those details again, but an issue I had with the Max fan is I don't think I cut the right area out. So on this one I need to cut out to here, which is 400 by 400. So I've put it on and I've drawn around the outside and I've drawn around the inside to get these 2 marks, so I know that my 400 by 400 square needs to be in this area. So once I've done that, basically silicone around in this gap here, and then stick it down onto the roof, and then from there everything else is underneath. So I think this is actually a better design, to be fair, than having the screws come through the top like on the fan. I think if the fan had this design, it would be so much better, so much easier to fit, and I think people would have less problems with that, less leaks. So let's I'll get measuring and cut it out, and then give it a clean. Okay, so I've drawn the box. Ignore the lines, they probably only make sense to me, but this middle bit is what's coming out, so I'm going to do that now. Okay, I'm going to attempt to fit this onto the roof from inside because I can't be bothered to get on the roof. Will it be genius or stupid?
Stupid.
I think genius. Oh.
Already stupid.
Oh my god. Ah! Drama! Clickbait! Add in some suspense music here. Ooh, skylight!
I take off the...
Are you going to show him this time or are you going to pull it off without?
I'm going to do it, look. Much better.
That's hard to get out.
Why don't we want that one?
Because they keep it open all the time. I want solid ones. So they're the ones that came in it, but they keep it open all the time, fencing. It comes with these solid ones, which I'm going to put in instead. So, you slot in. Out there. That's the end of day 2 now. Side windows on. And so is the skylight. So tomorrow we've just got that door window to go and put the cables on the bed, and then we shall go and test it out for the first time.